Bullies aren't born, they're built. And usually the story behind a bully is darker than you think. Before we judge a child who bullies others, we have to ask ourselves one critical question. Who hurt them first? Because behind almost every kid who causes pain is a kid who never learned how to process their own. Today, we're going to break down the psychology of how kids turned into bullies, and we'll look at the warning signs that parents often miss. And make sure you stay until the end, because I'll also explain the different types of bullies and, most importantly, how to help prevent bullying from ever starting at home. Let's start with the root cause: emotional pain at home. A lot of kids who become bullies start out as children who feel completely invisible. They feel unloved, ignored, and unimportant in the one place they're supposed to feel safe. When a child grows up in a home where expressing emotions is unsafe, where crying is seen as weakness, or where anger is the only emotion that gets a reaction, they learn a very dangerous lesson. Power is what protects me. So they go to school and they start looking for power wherever they can get it. And tragically, they often find it by taking it from other children who seem weaker or more vulnerable. This isn't about being mean for the sake of it. It's a desperate attempt to feel significant in a world where they feel they have no control. The second major factor is modeling. Children are like sponges. They copy the behavior they see around them every single day. If they grow up in a home filled with yelling, intimidation, shaming, or even physical violence, they start to believe that this is just how people communicate. They see insults as normal conversation. Kids who bully often come from environments where one parent dominates the entire family, where siblings use aggression to solve every little conflict, or where parents try to toughen them up with harsh, critical words. They aren't guided through their mistakes. They're punished for them. So, what do? They go to school and repeat exactly what was done to them, just on someone smaller. This leads us to the third point: unmet emotional needs. A child who bullies is often drowning in feelings they can't name. They feel powerless, deeply insecure, rejected, and jealous. So when they see another child who is naturally kind, confident, or popular, it can feel like a personal attack. That other child has something they desperately want but don't know how to get. Bullying becomes their distorted coping mechanism. It's a way to temporarily relieve that inner turmoil. The more powerless they feel at home, the more powerful they desperately want to feel at school. It's a sad, vicious cycle where they project their own inner pain onto others. The fourth reason is a lack of empathy development. This is so important to understand. Empathy is not an automatic skill we're born with. It has to be learned and nurtured. And kids who grow up without affection, without emotional validation, without being held accountable for their actions in a loving way, or without ever being truly listened to, they really struggle to understand how other people feel. It's not that they're heartless or bad kids. In many cases, they're emotionally numb because no one ever taught them how to connect with their own feelings, let alone someone else's. If you've never been shown compassion, it's incredibly difficult to show it to others. Now, here is one of the strongest and most heartbreaking patterns that psychologists see. Previous victims often become future bullies. A huge number of children who bully were once on the receiving end of it themselves. Why does this happen? Because being bullied is terrifying, and it makes a child feel utterly powerless. So they make a subconscious vow to themselves: I will never be weak again. It's better to be feared than to be hurt. They adopt a new mindset. If I don't attack first, I'll be the one who gets attacked. This isn't about true confidence or strength. It's a survival response, born out of trauma. They are trying to reclaim the power that was stolen from them by becoming the very thing they once feared. Next, we have to consider social rewards. Sometimes, bullying gets reinforced by the people around them. A child might bully someone and get attention from their peers. They might get laughs or even a twisted form of popularity. Other kids might start to fear them, and that fear can feel like respect. The more a child gets these social rewards, the more their bullying behavior grows and solidifies. They learn that being aggressive or mean gets them what they want: a place in the social hierarchy. If their peer group encourages this behavior, it becomes their identity. And finally, we have a lack of parental supervision or clear boundaries. When no one is there to teach a child what healthy boundaries look like, what is okay and what is not okay, they will constantly push the limits. They don't learn to think about the consequences of their actions because, often, there are no consequences. They test power dynamics with everyone they meet because they've never been shown how to interact respectfully. Without consistent and loving parenting that sets firm rules, the child learns a very simple lesson. I can get away with anything. This isn't their fault. It's a failure of guidance. So, now that we understand the why, let's briefly look at the different types of bullies because they aren't all the same. First, there's the aggressive bully. This is the classic type who learns that power comes from anger and physical intimidation. Second is the anxious bully. This child bullies out of their own fear and deep-seated insecurity. They put others down to try and lift themselves up. Third, you have the popular bully. This type is all about social climbing. They use exclusion, rumors, and manipulation to maintain their status and control over the group. Then there's the victim bully. This is the child we talked about who was bullied first and is now repeating the cycle. And lastly, there's the group bully who only bullies when they have the support of their friends. Alone, they might be perfectly fine, but in a group, they go along with the crowd to fit in. So the most important question is, what can we do? How can parents prevent a child from becoming a bully in the first place? You have the power to change the entire trajectory. First, teach emotional regulation. Give your kids the words to express their feelings. Instead of saying, "Stop crying," ask, "What's making you sad?" Model kindness and respect in your own life. Your kids are always watching how you treat others, from the cashier at the store to your own partner. Have open, non-judgmental conversations about feelings. Make your home a safe space for vulnerability. Ask your child about their day at school and really listen to their experiences. Teach empathy through storytelling. Read books or watch movies and ask, how do you think that character felt? Praise empathy and kindness whenever you see it. Reinforce the behavior you want to see more of. Set firm, but loving, boundaries. Rules make children feel safe, not restricted. And critically, do not humiliate or shame your child as a form of punishment. This only teaches them to do the same to others. Remember, empathy grows when children feel safe. Bullying grows when they don't. It all starts at home. Thank you so much for watching. If this was helpful, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more content that helps us build a kinder world, one family at a time.